Talk about it, fool. I don't know what's going on, but let's talk about
You can't say Bob Arum is not great at being a promoter. He is so smart.
it. Talk
It went
about it,
over
fool.
everyone's head.
I don't know what's
Bob
going
Arum
on, but
was
let's
talking to
talk.
the media yesterday, did a lot of interviews, and he says that if Devin Haney vacates, and Eddie Hearn said the same thing. Eddie Hearn also said if Devin Haney vacates, I'll give him to fight Liam Perro in Australia in November. Bob Arum says if Haney vacates, I'll give him the Teo fight. Well, first of all, Teo is fighting in a couple weeks. What a great way to promote the Teofimo Lopez's fight and to promote Teofimo. That's why Bob Arum is the G. That's why he's the man. And it went over everyone's head. No one even thought about that option. Devin Haney, will he fight a big puncher like Teofimo right now? Probably not. He needs 2-3 comeback fights, tune-up fights after the Ryan fight to work on certain things. He can't just come back right in there and fight a big puncher like Teo, but it's a great way to promote a Teo fight, number one. Number two, why does everyone want Haney to vacate? Because they did a purse bid. And in the purse bid, he was only going to get $1.5 million. Sandra Martin, the mandatory, would get $600,000 and 10% goes to the winner, which is $240,000. But Haney also prides himself in being the highest paid or making the most money and spending 1.5 looks like a major pay cut. But in boxing, when you lose a fight, you could go down from making $500,000, $750,000, $1 million to your minimum, which could be $2,000, $10,000, $50,000. You have a contract.
I know that's not what happened. 2,000 is insane, but nah, Devin Haney, what is it called? May go down depending on his next fight. If his next fight is not versus a big name, nah, Devin Haney, obviously he's going to make less money. May go down depending on his next fight. If his next fight is not versus a big name, then obviously he's going to make less money.
Obviously, promoters sometimes will tell you, don't worry about your minimum. You're always going to get paid more. But a contract's a contract. And when you lose or you have a draw, your minimum could be, like I said, $2,000. I've seen it happen in my own eyes. A fighter fought for a title for $500,000. His next fight, he got $5,000. That's back down the ladder, start from scratch. So that's where Haney is right now, but they want him to vacate, then they could really pay him less because he's not a champion. That's part of it too. And plus, Sandra Martin earned his spot. They did a purse bid. Hey, you got to honor it. So it'll be interesting to see if Haney vacates the title and chooses to fight Liam Perro in Australia, or does he fight Teo, which I still think that's a great way to promote a Teo fight, or does he do his own thing? I mean, his other options are, if these are the major promotion companies. There's Golden Boy, there's Top Rank, there's PBC, there's Matchroom, and then there's another one, Frank Warren's company in England, and then maybe the Saudis. But Saudis working with different promotions. I don't think they have their own promotion. And that goes back to Eddie and Frank Warren. So what does Haney do from here?
I don't even think the Saudis want Devin Haney. Want a Devin Haney. I don't even think the Saudis want Devin Haney. And I feel like want a Devin Haney. The Saudis are really looking for. I feel like knockout. The Saudis are really looking for hard hitting knockouts. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't think hard hitting fights. That, you know what I'm saying? That type of crowd would attract Devin Haney. Or Devin Haney would attract that crowd. Would attract Devin Haney. Or Devin Haney.
Does he just fight his mandatory? Big risk. Sandra Martin only has 6 knockouts, if I'm not mistaken, but he's so hungry right now. Nothing's going to stop him. Does Haney vacate and then roll the dice? If he vacates, then his value is he's not a champ anymore. They could pay him less, and he's fighting these guys that are tremendous punchers. Even Liam Perro could punch.
I don't get it. So why would that be a good decision for him to vacate his belt, knowing that the amount of money he makes is going to go down, and he's literally fighting Ryan Garcia's. What sense is that? What sense does that make? Why would he vacate the belt if that's the case?
He beat Subriel Matias, who's a monster, who's the beast, who's one of the most feared guys in boxing just 2 weeks ago. I don't want to hear that right now, that Subriel was never good and all that, because everyone, when you mention the big punchers at 40 or so, nobody wants to fight this guy. Everyone's ducking this guy. Yes, losses happen as part of life. Subriel could come back and be champ again. I'm surprised he doesn't have a rematch clause. If you're the champion and you're putting your belt on the line, I think it's always smart to have a rematch clause. You could choose to exercise it or not. Depends how close the fight was. But I remember when Jose Ramirez fought Josh Taylor, they each had 2 belts going into the fight. I would have made a rematch clause. I think that's unless the money was so good that where it didn't matter. But you always want to have that feeling that you have a shot to win your title back if you lose it in a close fight. But one and done is okay too. Like I said, if the money's life-changing money and it's great money, so I get it. Just you're fighting for a chance to be undisputed and you're making so much. You lose, hey, it's okay. Keep it moving. But let me ask you guys, what do you want to see Devin Haney do next? What do you think he does next? Do you think he vacates? Do you think he takes the Sandro Martin fight for $1.5 million? I don't think so. I think he will vacate and he will try to roll the dice. But it's going to be hard either way. There's no easy fights unless he vacates and does his own thing and builds himself up really slowly. 2-3 fights it's funny because him and Ryan Garcia, and I'll show you the exchange in a second, this is before Ryan announced his retirement yesterday. So Devin Haney says, I think I'm going to take 2 years off and come back in 2 years and beat Ryan.
Yeah, Devin Haney's not doing that. If you think he's taking 2 years off, you're crazy.
After his suspension. And Ryan responds to him. I'll show it to you right here, right now. Check it out. Damn, Devin, 2 years to train just to come back and get snapped again? Can't be me. If I'm suspended for 2 years, then we know how bad this game really can be. We're going to find out in 24 hours. Does Ryan Garcia get a 6-month suspension? Does he get a year suspension, a year and a half, or 2 years? If it's 2 years, then did they know was the punishment leaked beforehand? Because nobody knows. You could say Ryan's first offense. You could say he has a rational explanation. It was tainted supplements. And they could say, okay, well, you still failed the test, so here's 6 months. Here is, 1 year. And he only fights once a year, so that's not too bad. But if it's longer than 1 year, then it gets serious, and then it can affect everything. But Ryan, like I said, he announced his retirement yesterday. And let's see how long that lasts. And a lot of people in boxing were wondering if the retirement has something to do with what's going to come up in 24 hours. So stay tuned. We'll keep you guys posted. But there you
Hey, man, I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. You feel me? Let me know what y'all think about everything. You see what I'm saying? And,